And a good evening. Welcome inside the bottom line. Andrew connected, didn't mean to. I got to figure out where he's at.
Who?
Andrew, we're testing for tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
We're on live, Andrew, so you're connected. We'll be good for tomorrow. I just muted him. Yeah, you're connected. We'll just have to do it tomorrow. He's going to join 4 now tomorrow. Good evening. Welcome inside the bottom line. Glad to have you. I'm going to borrow a phrase from I'm trying to remember the year, and you may be better at the years, Juju, than I am. If you remember when the assassination attempt of Ronald Reagan was made, when he was hit, James Brady was injured. Mm-hmm. You remember that?
Yeah. 81, 82?
Early 80s.
Yeah.
Do you remember the infamous phrase that was...
That Hinckley said?
No, not Hinckley. That Secretary of State Al Haig said.
Oh, something about...
I'm in charge here.
Yeah.
I'm in charge here.
I'm here, yeah.
Okay.
Something.
Somebody tell David Tepper, I'm in charge here. I'm in charge here. Somebody needs to, because somebody needs to stop that guy and cancel his credit card or do something, because it is sad. He accomplished nothing.
I'm wearing black in honor today of Black Monday.
And there's more coming.
Yeah.
There are, is it 5 coaches in 6 years or 6 coaches in 5 years?
I think it's 6 coaches in 5 years.
Okay, counting the interns.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, he came aboard in 2018.
Okay. Yeah, nice. Sis. Eden Milton. Lindsay said, hashtag keep firing. Well, the problem is they need to start with the owner. And that's the entire message that everybody associated with the NFL is saying, because this guy's lost his mind. He's not going to get anybody to come to work for him. What big-name coach would want to come there?
I don't think there would be any. I just think you want somebody that has enough, like we said beforehand, somebody with an ego that wants to prove themselves.
And Lindsay,
and then get a big paycheck, because what, Frank Reich's going to get 20-some million?
I don't know.
To not coach? Matt Rule got, how much did he get?
A bunch. His was a big contract. It was a 7-8 year contract, close to $1 million. I mean, $100 million or something.
Yeah. So maybe it was 60, 70 million?
That's correct, Lindsay. You cannot fire Tepper. She said that the quarterback coach is out, running back coach is out, and both of those are out because, just like Frank Reich, they wanted C.J. Stroud and not Bryce Young. I am not convinced, and I've said this all day long, I am not convinced that it is a Bryce Young issue. I'm not convinced.
That's the opposite what Shefty has said.
What's he said?
He said they did this to protect Bryce Young. He said it today on the NFL Live before I got down here.
Okay.
That's Shefty.
Okay. And
the other guy who's from Charlotte, works for CBS Sports, from Charlotte, is it Jones?
Joe Person?
No, Joe's with The Athletic now. I can't remember his name. He's the insider now for CBS on the NFL Today. He's from Charlotte. He used to work for The Observer. Said the same thing, but he also said a couple of other things that he's been way off base.
But, okay, to protect him from what?
I think to protect him from regressing, to bring in somebody that will protect him and develop him even more.
Are they going to play offensive line?
Well,
because unless a coach is going to go out there and play offensive line, he's going to get smeared. If they were smart, okay, they would have evaluated and known that Bryce Young didn't have what he needed to be successful. They would have put the red rifle back there.
Yeah, at the beginning. In the preseason, instead of letting him in there and get clobbered a couple of times. And I've heard people say that, in the preseason when he was taking his lumps, they're thinking, why were you doing that? That's not going to help him at all. And in sports, what's the biggest thing that fans always, when somebody gets drafted, any sport, comps, right? Who do you compare somebody to? Who do you compare Bryce Young to? I was thinking about this driving down here today.
You don't have a comp for him.
The closest I could come up with.
Drew Brees.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Lamar Jackson?
No.
Because he's not as athletic as Lamar.
Go back a little bit further. He had a very hot wife. Played at Charlotte for a while. She was an actress.
Oh, gosh, and he was over the hill when he came. Yeah, Rodney Peete. But Rodney's bigger than Bryce Young.
Yeah, but he's not much bigger, though. I mean, he's thicker, but he's not. He was 5'11", 6 feet. But the similar kind of styles in terms of skill.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Here, Chad hit it on the nail right here. He said, I'm happy Frank got out of that organization. Drafting, free agency has been terrible for years. Not sure any coach could win with that group. That's my point. I'm not sure that the quarterback whisperer, McVay at San Francisco with Purdy,
yeah,
I'm not sure he could come in and win with this group because there's nothing there. And I'm not taking shots at the Panthers. They don't have a starting NFL receiver on the squad.
They got a good possession receiver.
So who you throwing to?
You don't.
You've got an offensive line that's non-existent. The left tackle that you drafted in the top 10 last year at NC State can't get it done.
They moved his style.
They moved Moton from left tackle to right tackle when they brought this guy in, and now Moton, he can't get it done on the right side.
Yeah. It is a dumpster fire.
Todd said Steve Wilks. Well, he didn't keep Steve Wilks.
No, you can't bring him back.
No. But I mean, Brandon Beane.
So the mistake now is trying to protect Bryce Young, right? They want to, like I said, help him in his development. But are they going to change the offense around a little bit next few weeks?
But here's the deal. Frank Reich was asked within the last 2 or 3 weeks, do you bench Bryce Young? You don't bench Bryce Young as much as you play Andy Dalton and let Bryce Young learn for a little bit.
Yeah.
Bryce Young is not – he's not going to – he has no development that he can gain from this season. He didn't from the beginning.
No.
He didn't from the beginning. The biggest thing he could have gained from was to sit on the bench and watch somebody else play. That's what he could have gained from.
And the reason they're keeping him in there now is because they gave up so much draft capital. They got to put him in there, right? They lost their number one wide receiver. They lost a couple of number one draft picks, all to get him developed. And you're gonna sit him? I mean, that was a tough call.
Then he said 6 coaches, 6 years, regardless of who they choose, it's going to take more than a year to fix that team and make them competitive. That's the whole thing. They didn't accomplish anything by firing Frank Reich except making this franchise, you said it, snake bit.
Yeah.
It's Charlotte snake bit. I think Bryce Young can make it in the NFL, but he's got to have the right tools around him.
I don't know if you can be a quarterback in the NFL if you can't get under center a little bit. And he can't get under center. They don't go under center at all.
There's a lot of teams don't go under center.
Yeah, but there are some teams that do. They at least mix it up a little bit. That if he's always in the shotgun, they can't throw the ball down the middle of the field. They can't stretch it. Everything's got to be to the side or dump offs.
Stephen Lowe says Cleveland Browns are the NFC South. The part that bothers me is that they're going to become the laughing stock. But Matt Hott says, who wants to take the job when it could be ended so quickly?
Yeah. Again, somebody on the rise, say, okay, I want to be a head coach someday. There's only 32 of them, and I get paid a boatload
because
of money.
those teams can block. They can see over the line with the small quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you get somebody more physically imposing as a quarterback. But they don't have anybody to do that right now. They don't have any draft capital to move up, move around, trade, or whatnot. And I don't think they're going to have enough money to go out and sign somebody. Do you go out and sign, what's his name, Kirk Cousins, to be a backup next year?
Andy Dalton is completely fine. And the backup they should have kept was P.J. Walker. No, Matt. Harbaugh is not coming. That's what Juju said. Harbaugh will have all the offers he can handle with real franchises that have real teams and real players that are ready to compete.
Maybe Harbaugh goes to Washington.
I think Harbaugh goes to San Francisco. I mean, not San Francisco, San Diego.
San Diego, perhaps.
He wants Chicago.
How about the kid from Charlotte that is the offensive coordinator for Detroit that I guess had a little bit of a love affair last year. David Tepper liked him a little bit. Ben Johnson went to Carolina. He's the offensive coordinator. I think that the Panthers.
Where's he at?
He's the offensive coordinator at Detroit.
Okay.
He turned the Panthers down. I think, if my memory serves, Tepper kind of tried to woo him to come before all this stuff with Reich, and he turned him down. I doubt if they go back to him again. But I could see somebody like him going to San Diego. You're going to got to get an offensive mind to go to San Diego because they got a quarterback.
That's why I think Harbaugh.
Yeah, he might. He's coached out west before.
Yeah, and Lindsay wants to make sure that you know that Elko is leaving Duke.
Yeah, not San Diego, but Los Angeles Chargers.
San Diego.
Yeah, I know.
We all know who we're talking about.
And that's I guess that's a move for Elko.
Mm-hmm.
He was there before.
He was not the first choice.
No.
That's obvious.
No.
If they were going to throw all the money around that they talked about throwing around, and
they had to buy him out of Duke
after Saturday, but it was pocket change.
Yeah, $5 million. That's pocket change.
Bob, that's a good point. Bob says unless Tepper sails or is ousted, this conversation is worthless. And it is.
No.
And he's not going to be ousted, and he's not going to sail.
So you go and hire a president of football operations
but
to get the hell out of the way.
But there's the key. I made the comment.
I know he's a smart man. He's a very smart guy, obviously, to do the kind of things he's done in the world of finance and the money that he has made. Mm-hmm. Smart people also know when they made a mistake, then they fix it.
No, they don't.
Don't keep doing the same thing over and over. Really smart people.
I'm not so sure that his wife's not running it.
I can't believe that.
She's involved in everything else.
I know. Then hire a president of football. Go out and get the smartest people that are associated with the NFL that don't have any jobs, that are consultants, and sit them down and say, who should I hire? And then hire that person, president of football ops, get rid of the general manager, and then get
Danny,
out of the way.
that is my point. I made the comment, and I'm trying to remember if it was Washburn or who had made the comment about what a disaster this has become, and I made the comment, I really never thought there would be a Jerry Jones 2, but there is. He owns the Carolina Panthers. He can't get out of his own way to make it a success. Lindsay, you're right. Lindsay says smart people are supposed to surround themselves with other smart people, not yes people, but some people that are smart can't do that because nobody is smarter than they are. And nobody is as smart as they are. Jerry Jones is the prime example for that.
Yeah, Jerry's not involved as much as he used to be. His son, Steve, is doing a lot of that now. He just likes to be the front guy, be on radio and TV all the time. I don't think he's making the decisions as much as he used to. I don't think, from stuff that I've read. But it's
Matt, we're going to tell a story about that. Matt has a comment, and I'll take a break here in a minute. We got Mike Jacobs coming up. Lenore Ryan's moving on to the Elite Eight, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'll let you address this with some history, Matt. Todd said, hire good people, set high expectation, hold them accountable, and let them do their dang job. But Davey T can't do that, and he can't. He can't. Matt's question is, when he was in Pittsburgh, was he not considered such a great minority owner?
No.
Juju's going to tell you a story.
I'll give you a story.
I'm going to take a break, and then it's going to be story time with Juju when we come back about Pittsburgh. Hold on.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. And welcome back. And as I promised, do not want to disappoint. In just a moment, it's going to be story time with Uncle Juju.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to tell you a story. It's not a bedtime story, I hope.
No.
But he's going to tell you a story about Pittsburgh Steelers minority ownership. And, Fats, no. Welcome Jim Harbaugh to the Panthers. Not going to happen. Why would he want this dumpster fire? I think top-notch, proven NFL coaches are going to want more control over personnel than Tepper's going to be willing to give up.
Or if you hire president of football ops to run, you got to hire him. They can't have a general manager who they got right now, Scott Fitterer, and then bring in a new coach.
Where did he come from?
Seattle. You can't hire. You got to bring them both together. You got to get rid of them both together, or bring them and hire both together.
That's right, Jerry. They should have drafted the Alabama offensive line. And Milton said if they hired Jim Harbaugh, Harbaugh would just tell Tepper off. Probably true.
He did that when he was in San Francisco.
Andrew, stop it. Jim Caldwell's already been elevated to extra secret senior analyst. Look how well he did in Indianapolis and Detroit.
He did okay in Detroit. He took him to a playoff spot. Last time they were in the playoffs.
Playoffs? Thank you, Lindsay. She said she's proud of me for using the lingo dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire, yes.
Always like to stay on top of things. Okay, now it's time for story time with Uncle Juju.
So, no, I asked you the question before we went on the air. Why? There are 4 former Steelers minority owners who are now owners in the NFL. David Tepper, the guy up in Cleveland, Jimmy Haslam, the guy down in Jacksonville with the funny mustache, and the new owner for the Redskins, or the Washington Commanders, Josh Harris. All 4 of them at one time were minority owners with the Pittsburgh Steelers. How come all four have had some kind of issues? And Tom, I'm going back to when Tepper was one of the minority owners. Tepper tried to get him fired in 2018 when they got off to a little bit of a slow start. He spoke up with some other minority owners and went to the local press. You can find it on Google. I think it's January of 2018. David Tepper wants Mike Tomlin fired. Came out, spoke about it, and everything.
That's the only thing I agree with Tepper on?
he ain't going to get fired. They're one game out of having the home field advantage for the playoffs.
You know what was so sad yesterday? We were visiting Cubby, and Wes is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He has the ticket. He almost lost his mind when they completed the first pass in the middle of the field. He said, do you know how many years it's been since we've completed a pass?
Oh, yeah.
Down the field, in the middle of the field?
First play of the game.
Yeah.
To the tight end.
He was just going berserk because it doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
I'm like, give it time, son.
No.
They'll screw this up.
No, they did okay yesterday. But the story is that Tepper's his behavior of not having the patience for coaches goes back to his days when he was a minority owner with the Steelers. He wanted Tomlin fired, along with several other minority owners, which I believe in 2018, it may be a year off. One of those years is when Ben got hurt, the backup quarterback got hurt, and they were down to a free agent quarterback named Duck Hodges. And so here's Tepper wanting to get rid of Tomlin. But that was the story.
Let me give you a stat, and then I will.
He hasn't learned. My point is he hasn't learned from his mistakes.
You can't learn
obviously.
when you're that smart. You have nothing left to learn. You're a multi-bazillionaire. How could anybody be smarter than you?
Nobody likes the smartest guy in the room. Don't you know that?
I'm just saying. According to ESPN Stats and Information Research, there's only been 6 NFL coaches since the merger in 1970, right?
Yeah.
Who didn't finish their first season with the team, with 3 of those instances having come in the past 3 seasons. Urban Meyer, Jaguars, Nathaniel Hackett, Bronco, and now Frank Reich. You ask about Steve Wilkes.
Matt Rule.
Not in his first season.
First
season. You don't even make it through one. Steve Wilkes made it through one.
Then got canned.
He got canned on Black Monday. He got canned on Black Monday.
Who are the other 3, may I ask? Bobby Petrino?
He didn't get fired. He just quit. He left. I'll look that up for you, sir. But it wasn't Steve Wilkes.
Nick Saban? No, he just quit.
He just quit, yeah. NFL head coaches fired during their first season.
I didn't say Charlotte was snake bit. I said they were jinxed. But it's the same thing. You're right.
Okay, here we go.
Charlotte sports.
He is the 7th coach in the last 6 years to be fired during or just after one season. Okay, there's 7 of those. Lovie Smith in Houston.
Okay.
Hackett. David Culley in Houston the year before Lovie. Urban. Freddie Kitchens in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And Steve Wilkes in Arizona. Then if you go back, okay, there still have been 32 one-and-done NFL coaches fired after their first season of coaching. After their first season. Lou Holtz got fired from the Jets in 76.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I should have remembered that.
Don McCaffrey got fired in 73 from the Lions. Let's see.
Steve Spurrier?
Mm-mm.
He just got fired after the season.
Wait a minute. Richie Pettibone in 93. 1 year with the Skins.
Okay.
Pete Carroll, 1 year, 94 with the Jets. Ray Rhodes, 1 year.
With the Eagles?
Packers. 99.
Okay.
Al Groh, 1 year with the Jets. The man that made it 1 year before Uncle Bill took over, his name was Rod Rust.
Rod Rust.
Because didn't Bill take over 91?
Bill who?
Bill who? At
in 1991?
The Patriots?
No, 91, not Bill who? You mean Bill Parcells?
No.
Belichick?
I'm sorry. Belichick.
Belichick started in 01. You're a decade away.
Okay.
Yeah. But Bill Parcells did in the mid-'90s.
Joe Bugle for the Raiders in 97.
Yeah.
Marty Schottenheimer in 01 with the Skins.
No. Skins?
Yep.
Or San Diego? No, okay, you're right.
Skins.
Daniel Snyder.
Art Shell with the Raiders in 06. Jim Mora Jr. with the Seahawks in 09. Bobby Petrino with the Falcons in 07. God, what a list. Rod Chazinski, the Browns in 13. Hugh Jackson with the Raiders in 11. Mike Malarkey with the Jags in 12. Jim Tom Sula with the 49ers in 15. Chip Kelly with the 49ers in 16.
So how many of those coaches, where would you put Reich in all that? I mean, he's
just a statistic that got fired in his first year.
Yeah, there are a lot more out there than I thought.
Matt Odd says if Irsay looks like a better owner than Tepper,
Oh my.
then that is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let me back up because I've had a bunch of stuff come in here. Yeah, I know Uncle Juju needs a track. I don't have a track. This was just off the cuff.
It was.
Andrew said Jim Caldwell. No. Andrew said Brian Johnson. No, not unless he doesn't get any other offers.
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson. Matt said, first time I've ever seen the special teams coordinator put in charge. That should tell us everything. That's not always a bad move.
Remember the guy a few years ago with the Raiders? Richie Bisaccia. He was a special teams coach. He's now with the Packers, I believe.
Wasn't the guy that went to the Jets from the Patriots, just made it a couple years?
Joe, you're right.
Yeah,
Joe Judge.
Joe Judge. He was the special teams coordinator.
So was Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
The other Harbaugh.
Chip says, under 6 foot quarterbacks, no hope. Got to be special. You got to have a whole lot around them. What got him drafted, guys, was he knocked the top off processing downfield, processing defenses at a speed that was never been duplicated. That's the thing that hurt Cam Newton. Cam could never read a defense and process it and fire on it.
So what happens now when he processes, what's he do?
He's not getting enough time to process. I mean, they're owning. Yeah. It's not even funny. Danny said special teams coach is in charge because he has lots of experience this year punting and kickoff return.
Yeah.
Lindsay said, meanwhile, Jonathan Beam has fired Mac Brown 12 times. That's not a bad idea.
Who takes over for Mac eventually, do you think? Do you think Ben Johnson? They're waiting for him from Detroit?
For Mac Brown?
Eventually,
You
Mac.
haven't heard?
What?
There's a coach that's available that's been a head coach numerous times and would probably love to get back in the ACC. Jimbo Fisher.
For $77 million? Is that much he's owed? Does he want to coach?
He can still work. I don't know how his contract reads.
I'm guessing he's going to be an offensive analyst or hire him at Duke.
Andrew says not being Brian Johnson, offense coordinator at the Eagles.
Oh, okay, that one. Okay.
Yep. But Ben Johnson, there is a Ben Johnson. Is he at the Giants?
No, he's with Detroit.
He's with Detroit.
He's the kid from Asheville, went to Carolina.
Okay.
And has been pretty good the last couple of years.
Four says you can't expect any quarterback, tall, short, fat, or skinny, to deliver with no time to process or survey the field on defense. That's been my whole thing. I mean, I don't care how quick you can pull that trigger. He's not getting 2 seconds.
But when at the end of last season, after they decided to move on from Steve Wilkes, and they made the move up to get to draft, could they not see in a year, wait one more year, and the quarterback crop was going to be much better if they waited another year? Took their lumps for another year.
What is the key word that you've heard all day about David Tepper?
Yeah.
He is what?
Impatient.
Impatient. I've got money. Buy me somebody. Find me somebody I can buy.
They could have kept the draft picks. They could have acquired more draft picks.
Where did Scott Fitterer come from that made him the choice? What made him the choice?
He came from Seattle, and he was the number 2 guy. behind their longtime general manager. And supposedly the longtime general manager there and Scott Fitterer work together. But I think the guy that's really is really an up-and-comer in their organization is Dan Morgan, former Panther.
If you look at and I'm not comparing Dan Morgan and San Francisco Lynch.
Oh, yeah, John Lynch.
But in the past, former players have not worked out well as general managers.
No.
And go back to the guy that was at Detroit for so long was terrible.
Oh, yeah, Matt Millen.
Matt Millen. And he's a great analyst now. I like him as an analyst, but, boy, he was a disaster at general manager. Matt Hodge says, wonder what QCB has to say about all this. If you don't know who QCB is, he's on the other station down in Charlotte. Chad Muller said, Coach Chadwick, who was at Coastal and now taking Liberty to 12-0, will be the next big college coach.
I could see that.
Hugh Freeze isn't doing too bad.
No.
Andrew
He
said,
could
I
kill
thought
his defensive-
Equinoccio or whatever, the guy from State, was the issue to the line. Nope.
You freeze. Did he fire his defensive coordinator after that last play of the game the other night?
Oh, I don't know.
Man, they rushed 2.
Look.
Let 9 guys.
Here's the deal. And everybody said it. When I was calling defenses, we didn't line up in prevent. Because prevent just says, we're just hoping and praying you're not going to score.
Well, you could put a prevent out there, but at least put some pressure on a quarterback. They just he sat there for 8.5 seconds.
I don't play prevent. Prevent saying that
It was
you've
only
given
a
up.
30-yard pass, 31-yard
Given up.
pass.
You've given up.
If he was back at his own 30, maybe 70 yards in the air, but not 30 yards. He's got 8 seconds.
Lindsay said, so we need Bryce Young's brain and Cam Newton's body. Good luck with that. Danny said, no coach or quarterback will win until they get a line that can provide them time. That is correct.
They're going to be able to draft one for. They're going to have to go out and sign some people in free agency. And that's going to cost a lot of money.
Milton said he's not impressed with Bryce Young. Well, you got the whole cap thing you got to play with too.
They got a couple of years to play with the cap thing. So Bryce is, if they stick with him until his contract runs up.
That's another good one, Danny. Danny said Ozzie Newsome did a good job with the Ravens too.
Sure he did.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to bring him out of retirement, though.
Ford said the difference is we don't know the name of the owner in San Francisco. Anytime you know the owner, it seems the team is secondary. That is a great point.
Jim York.
But it's just because you follow it. It's not because he's in the forefront.
Yeah, he's not in the forefront now. He was at one time. He is the son-in-law of the DeBartolo family.
Okay. 4 said prevent, 7 layered deep and rush 4. You got to at least rush 4.
Yeah, they rushed 2 and they put a spy in the middle of the field. He just stood there.
Matt said changing from NFL, but Texas A&M fans have gone nuts the other night for Stoops to be told, never mind. Stoops, why would Stoops come? And then here, I got another question for you. I heard this today, listening to the Talking Heads. What makes anybody believe that Texas A&M can be the next college powerhouse? Just because they got oil money? You still got to have kids that won't go there and play, right?
Yeah. Again, there's only so many 5-stars and 4-stars out there. And if you're going to keep changing coaches and you're going to try to throw money at them, do you think coaches lose their motivation when they have so much money on the line that they know their contract, it's a fully guaranteed contract? Do they lose any of their motivation or want to?
I don't know. Andrew says what we need is Mac Brown. Andrew, I bet you were on suicide watch when the headlines broke that Dabo was on the radar for Texas A&M.
That's people just spreading rumors. That is an agent calling a reporter and saying, okay, this is what we're hearing. Agents are the ones that do all this.
I had a
rumor
guy
stuff.
come up to me at church on Sunday that's a Gamecock fan. He said, congratulations. And I said, what, 2 mules fighting over a turnip? That was an ugly game. and Clemson tried to lose it late. And I stayed up and watched it. It's terrible.
You know that it's a down season for South Carolina and Clemson when that game's on the ACC network?
Yeah.
No, SEC network.
Yeah.
And they had Charlotte on ESPN2.
6-5 and 7-4.
And Charlotte's 2-9, and they were on one of the major stations for
terrible.
ESPN.
They are terrible.
Boy, you ought to have seen the crowds. We were down in Columbia on the other side of town the other day. There were all kind of crowd. There were all kind of signs. I took a couple pictures in my thing about, since Trump was there.
Stephen Lowe said, no, they have to compete with not only the SEC West, but now they have to compete with Texas and Oklahoma. Ford thinks that Urban Meyer's going to College Station, but no, it's not going to be. It's going to be Elko.
Yeah.
He can't browbeat those boys, and he will fly very high with that type of disciplined set of motivated athletes, and then he will have a heart issue or some other health issue and have to retire again. Andrew said it was good enough for Donald Trump to show up. I can't get it through Andrew's head. I just want to win. I don't care who's in the crowd. I don't care how sweet they are and how cutesy their phrases are. I just want them to win.
Yeah, style points don't matter. Even though a lot of people in college football, these committees and voters and stuff, they think style points matter. It shouldn't.
Let's see. Lenny texts me. See what he says.
Is our buddy Todd Wimberly checked in?
I haven't seen Todd tonight.
Okay. Because
Lenny's we're cousins and we're classmates.
Okay.
Says Tepper needs to go back to buying out companies and closing them down and leave football decisions to football people.
Yep.
Or maybe that's what he's trying to do, close them down as the hedge funder that he is. Now, Tepper paid $4-point-something
billion.
Right?
Yeah.
The last franchise that just sold, the Redskins, they're still the Redskins, were over $6 billion. So in 6 years, Tepper could sell the Panthers and make a $2 billion profit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
NFL owners don't do that.
And
though,
Andrew, you can go ahead and write that down. Here is your bowl matchup for your Clemson Tigers. They'll be headed to San Diego for the Holiday Bowl. You know why?
No.
Because their opponent will be DJ Uiagalelei and Oregon State. That is made for TV right there. That's why they want that matchup.
When is the Holiday Bowl? Is that
huh?
like right before New Year's? I
think it's between Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
Ford said build the brand, good or bad, and then sell it off. Business. And that's what Tepper is. He just wants to play, I think, with the –
How many NFL owners do that, though? How many owners have we seen?
Not many.
Not many at all.
Todd Herm said, Dabo to the Panthers. Andrew's head just exploded. Andrew says the 27th.
Okay.
All right, let me take a break. We come back. Mike Jacobs is going to join us. We'll talk a little Lenore Ryan football. Back in just a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. Welcome back. We are waiting on Coach Mike Jacobs. He's going to join us here in just a bit. He is on the list for today. Go back to a couple of other things.
Looks like Gardner-Webb's going to be looking for a new football coach. Trey Lamb, who had been there for the last 2 years and has taken them to the playoffs in each of the last 2 years. Word is he's going to take the job at East Tennessee State. He's from Tennessee as well. His uncle is
Bobby Lamb.
Bobby Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
His other, I think, his cousin, the one that was the quarterback at App.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago.
That's Bobby's son.
Yeah, what's his not Trey? Whatever the Lamb is.
Yeah.
He is now the quarterback's coach at Virginia.
Okay.
So
yeah.
That's a football family, but supposedly he's going.
And
to
his
East
mama
Tennessee.
was the photographer. She had sideline access of taking pictures.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, you are a bundle full of knowledge.
No, I'm just a bundle. Let's see. Chad said whoever hires the football coach at Lenore for the last few years has done a good job. And they've been on a roll since Drew Cronick came in.
Yeah, since 5 years.
Yeah.
I think they're the winningest private school in the nation over the last 5 years.
Steven said, and we were in a little group chat over the weekend, enjoyed listening to you doing the play-by-play for Lenore Ryan.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yep.
Speaking of Lenore Ryan, there's Coach Jacobs.
And you're on Sports Talk. Well, I thought it was. And you're on Sports Talk. Coach? Hey, Coach. I'm good. Hang on one second. I couldn't get you pulled up on the board. Hold on.
We're going to have a conversation right now coming up with the head coach of the Lenore Ryan Bears, Mike Jacobs. Bears a winner over the weekend, 35-25 in the second round of the playoffs. I can hear myself pretty good.
I can't get the call to hold.
Oh, you have to. Will you have to hold the button down?
Don't think it'll work that way, but try it.
Coach, can you hear us now?
Coach Jacobs, can you hear us?
How about can he call on your phone? Remember you used to hook him up that
I
way?
don't have a way to do it.
Okay.
He is gone now. Text him and tell him we're going to take a look and see what. We changed phone companies, but everything was working fine.
Okay. There's a gremlin in the phone system, is what you're saying.
Is, yeah. Because I had him on the line here, and nothing has changed as far as this is concerned. But just give him a text.
And tell him
that if we can get it worked out, we'll call him right back. Or we'll text him and he can call us back.
Okay.
Because I'm not exactly sure what I got to do. It didn't want to hold the call. And that's...
He's trying again.
We'll try it again.
Head coach Mike Jacobs, are you with us, Coach? I don't think so. Okay.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Could be in the...
It's got to be the line that we put in.
Okay.
It's the only thing I could think of.
All right, so...
my apologies.
I will tell him.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, Andrew. We switched phone providers, and I guess this is the first time I brought anybody on the air with it. And I don't have any other way. This board won't let me pull it through my phone like you were talking about.
Yeah.
Bob said it's a Tepper telephone line. Yeah, we could try that. Have him call my cell phone, and I'll put it on speaker.
On speaker, okay. Yeah. All right, let me do this. Let's see. I'll do that. Give me a second here. Let's see. Contacts.
Thank you, Danny. Didn't think about that.
What?
Holding the phone close to the mic.
That's the way we used to do it.
I know.
In the old days.
I know, but I've got more crap here than that. I shouldn't have to do that.
So call your personal number is what you're saying.
Yep.
All right.
And then we'll put him on. Wait a second. The problem is going to be hey, Coach, we're going to try to get you on through the phone. Just hang on 1 second. We're having some technical problems here.
All right, Coach Jacobs, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right, so welcome Mike Jacobs, head coach of the LR Bears, coming off a playoff win, 35-25 over the weekend down in South Carolina. Coach, I don't want to get into like the specifics, but I saw the press conference afterwards. It sounded as if you had some hard conversations with the team at halftime because it seemed to be a different team in the second half. The Bears clamped down. Can you talk about that and what you were most proud of in your team, especially in that second half?
Yeah, I just challenged them. I didn't think we had played our best football in the first half. We were fortunate enough to, still be within one score at halftime, but, the amount of pre-snap penalties and then just some execution things, I thought we could have done a little bit better and from an effort standpoint. So, we addressed that stuff at halftime. And the great thing about this team is, these kids care and they're winners. And so what you saw was a much more focused and a group of guys that came out and really executed at a high level in the second half and helped us win our first playoff road game since we've joined the NCAA.
What were you most impressed with, the way the offense came out in that second half, or the way the defense? I don't think Benedict had any yardage in the third quarter, but it seemed like both sides of the football, like I said, clamped down on the opponent, and you guys just turned the momentum completely around.
Yeah, we were able to stay on schedule a little bit on offense, which allowed us to run the ball at a better rate, and we did a little bit better job protecting the quarterback there, and had some receivers make some big plays offensively, and the O-line stepped it up in the second half. Obviously, anytime you rush for 250 yards as a team, the O-line played pretty well. And then defensively, we affected the pass game a little more because we were able to get to the quarterback some. And Andre Jefferson really played a solid game. And, John Ross May and Percy King was internally our player of the week. Was just a really standout day for us defensively. So proud of our kids in general. And, that was a big win. That's first NCAA playoff road win. That's a number 1 seed. You just knocked out of your region. There's a lot of good that came out of that game.
When it comes to playoff football, and you have a lot of experience with that from your days at Notre Dame College now to LR and winning now back-to-back playoff games, what does it take, or what is deemed necessary for a team that wants to make a run in the postseason like the Bears have done? What do teams need to do to be successful when it comes to the playoffs?
I think the first thing is that you have to stay healthy, or reasonably healthy, right? Like Division II, unless you get the bye in the playoffs, you don't have a bye. So, this will be week 14 in a row that our kids have put it out there on the field. And, it's not like the NFL where somebody gets hurt and you pick somebody up off of waiver wires, right? So I think you have to stay healthy first. I think you have to have a mentally tough team because it is a bit of a grind, even though we're having a great time and we love being around one another. I mean, it's a long season, and so you got to be mentally tough and prepared to play deep into the playoffs. And then I think you have to execute at a high level and, really limit mistakes. The margin for error gets smaller and smaller as the pool of teams gets less and less. And so when you get down to it here where there's only 8 teams left, we have to play really sound football. We have to eliminate mistakes.
How difficult was it to get the team ready during Thanksgiving break? Nobody was on campus. You guys were the only people around, and to keep those guys focused all the way to Saturday.
Yeah, I thought our kids did a great job with it. I mean, honestly, you eliminate some of the things that distract them, whether it's homework or school or whatever. They really were able to just kind of concentrate on football and getting off their feet and relaxing a little bit. We did go Thursday morning and cut them loose so the guys that were, within a couple hours of campus, we let them go home and see their families for Thanksgiving. And then the travel squad was back by Friday morning and made the trip down to Benedict. So I thought they handled it well.
I thought that the crowd gave the Bears a lot of juice, or a lot of life as well, because the crowd traveled very well. They had as much or maybe even more than the home team did Saturday. Could you kind of speak about that?
Yeah, I mean, a huge kudos. We had a contingent of our band there. Our whole cheer squad was there, and then I'd say somewhere between 1,000 and probably 1,700 LR Bears fans minimum were at the game, and they were there in support. It was nice because it was only a couple-hour drive for a lot of folks, and our kids feed off that energy.
Coach, can you talk about Sean White? I don't know if a quarterback in recent LR history has had a 3-game stretch where he has been so darn good.
Sean, I mean, we talked a little bit about mental toughness. I mean, Sean's a kid who, was struggling a little bit at the beginning of the year, and that coupled with the fact that Jalen Ferguson was playing really well, led to Jalen being the starter there for about a 6-game stretch. And then Jalen got a little banged up in the Wingate game, and Sean's come in and he's just been on fire lately. And he's always had the arm strength and talent that way, but his accuracy over the last few weeks has really been something, and he's just done a tremendous job. And I give Jalen a lot of credit as well because we're not trying to yo-yo things back and forth, and they both played really well at different points in the season for us, and for those guys just to buy into the team philosophy, and I give both those kids a whole lot of credit.
I was going to ask you about the scouting of Valdosta State, the opponent for the Bears coming up. Before I do that, how would you scout Lenore Ryan if you had a chance? What would you say about this Lenore Ryan football team this year?
Yeah, I'd say they're a team that I'd like to think that we're tough to plan for, right? We make it really hard on folks to run the football. We try to create, one-dimensional offenses, and that limits what some of the folks can do. We've been able to run the ball effectively in each game all season, and then we've created a bunch of takeaways. And I think as you go throughout our games, you see us almost suffocate folks, right? Because we'll create a takeaway, and then the offense isn't just getting field goals or getting touchdowns, and the next thing you know, you're down 2-3 scores, and you're forced out of your game plan. And I think that's what we've done a really good job of all season.
When you look at this matchup with Valdosta State, I kind of compare it to like a boxing match. The Bears are the body punchers, and it seems like Valdosta State is the team, and you saw them 5 years ago when you were Notre Dame College. You played them after LR got blown out by them, but they seem to be a team or a program that likes to go for the knockout, the big play, and while the Bears like to do the body punching. Would that be a good analogy, and how do you see that game coming up Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, we're down to 8 teams, and so they've done a great job of kind of reloading their roster, and they're extremely talented, especially on offense. They have a number of weapons. I think their quarterback has played as good as anybody in the country, throwing the football with some timely rushes. They're effective when they do run the football, and then they got guys that can stretch the field and blow the top off of coverage. So they do quite a bit offensively. That they've been really dynamic that way. They've played sound defense all year, and those same explosive guys on offense also helping special teams. So it's a tremendous challenge. We're going on a road playing the team that knows how to win, and it'll be a great game on Saturday.
Two teams that did not make the playoffs last year are now down to the final 8, Lenoir-Rhyne and Valdosta, coming up Saturday at 1 o'clock. Coach, as always, best of luck. We'll see you down at Valdosta coming up on Saturday. And, again, thanks for joining us. Sorry for the technical problems. We'll get things turned out and hopefully have a chance to talk to you again next week.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks, guys. Travel safe down there. We'll see you down in Georgia.
All right, thanks. Head coach Mike Jacobs of the Bears after the game Saturday. Lanny, we were kind of surprised that both teams came into that game top 10 teams in terms of defense, top 5 teams actually, and they were lighting up the scoreboard. Long passes, long runs, and LR rolled up almost 600 yards of offense against the nation's number 1 defense in terms of statistics. So their offense is really on target right now. They're clicking.
Does it say more about Lenoir-Rhyne's offense, or say more that maybe Benedict's defense wasn't as tough as they thought?
Well, their defense had 45 sacks for the year, and that's I think it was top 2 or 3 in the country, and they had 4 or 5 sacks in the first half. But the Bears had some pre-snap penalties. They made some mistakes. And they were down, but they rallied in the second half. As you heard Coach say, he had some hard conversations with the team, challenged them at halftime. But, the other team's pretty good, too. And when you talk about the playoffs and the team that had been giving up about 190 yards of offense for an entire game, and the Bears got almost 600, I think the LR offense was much better than, obviously, the Benedict defense.
Balanced offense?
Yeah, I think it's the most balanced in the country.
Yeah. There you go. Sorry for the problem, folks. Thanks for the suggestions and recommendations. Anything else you got?
No, I was looking at Danny Hipps's comment. We did a game way back in the day.
Rosman and Maiden?
Yeah, up at Rosman. Yeah, it was unusual. I mean, we had things hooked together, wires hooked together, and I've done games before like you just did, holding a telephone, talking back and forth. Yeah,
not in Rosman, you didn't.
No, not in Rosman.
Okay. I did a Rosman broadcast against a Maiden team one time, and I had to have a phone line installed in the press box. That's the only way we could get back. And then we have actually done a Marty shot from a press box to a landline back at school.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty ingenious.
And then that's kind of like I was doing here.
As I recall,
You do what you got to do to get it on.
Yeah, I think that back in the day, we had cell phones, but it was those big box phones.
Yeah.
And I think we had Jerry rigged it up somehow, and I don't remember. Maybe Danny has more of the details.
Held the wires.
Held the wires together.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow did it. Made it. Saved the broadcast, as they say.
Forrest said his brother Aaron caught the pass at Rosman at halftime to go up by 7 in that game. Stephen Lowe was also on that team back then. All right, we're going to get out of here. Mr. Rembert should be in tomorrow, as far as I know. I'm unhappy about my phone line situation over here because I had fiber put in, and they said we could go with analog lines, and it is. That's an analog phone, and it rings, but there's something about, and I don't know phone lines, but there's a certain voltage that comes through for analog.
Okay.
And undoubtedly this box is not seeing it or seeing enough of it, so we'll have to figure out what's going on there. But
if there's anybody I know that can figure it out, you will eventually.
I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
But thanks for being here. Glad to be back on Monday nights.
Yeah, it's good.
Yep, it's all
good
good. Have a great
You have a good Thanksgiving.
Forrest said he's fired up about Frank Wright. Getting ready. He's going to rip a new $A $. There you go. Yes, I did.
About losing Frank.
About losing Frank. Just stupid decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody can see that. Good Thanksgiving, you. Did you stay in town?
I did.
We did, too.
I did. I went with my college roommate and his wife and their family. So, yeah, I had a good time.
Everybody comes to the house. So, that's, let's see, 30. We were expecting 35 and got 32.
People?
Yeah, and that's a lot of people in my house.
That's a lot of turkey, too, right? A lot of ham.
Let's just put it this way. We didn't eat Thanksgiving leftovers very long because there wasn't a whole lot of leftovers. Have a great evening. See you next time.